Hello, I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to my channel, I Hate Rock Music. And today I'm going to do a little exercise that I enjoy because I've been a vinyl junkie for 50 years and I'm a total rock nerd. And I love thinking and imagining about uh, realigning albums and lost bands, bands that could have been, lost albums, albums that could have been, all that kind of stuff. Because that's what us vinyl junkies do. And I hope I don't ruffle anybody's feathers because I'm going to be talking about a lot of classic albums here that a lot will argue shouldn't be tampered with. And they're probably right in some way, but I still love speculating about stuff like this because there's a lot of great singles and outtakes that weren't included on albums that sometimes I think should have been. And I like the idea of tweaking albums. I kind of got the idea because I was listening to Rolling Stones' Goat's Head Soup and read a little bit about it and realized that originally Crisscross was supposed to be on the album and they left it off and put Hide Your Love. And I have some issues with that, but I'm going to actually do a separate video on Goat's Head Soup so I've re-examined that album. But I'm going to go through 25, 26 singles or outtakes that I think should have been on their albums. And it might have actually made some of these albums even greater than they already are. So number one is The Snake by Pink Fairies. It was released as a single before Never Never Land, and there's a couple fluff pieces on Never Never Land. I think to make it a stronger debut, and it's such a killer song, The Snake. I think they should have included that on the album. Number two is Robin Trower's Take a Fast Train. It was a single that was released at the same time as Twice Removed from Yesterday, and it's a killer song, super fast, and I just think it's so wonderful. They should have put it on the album. I love the album as it is, but maybe they could have left off Man of the World and put Take a Fast Train on there. Number three, this is really going to hurt some people. Honky Tonk Women by the Rolling Stones. I sometimes think they should have left Country Honk off the album Let It Bleed and actually put Honky Tonk Women on there, one of the all-time great singles. It really would have fit on that album nicely and made it even that much greater. Number four is the Sex Pistols, both Did You Know Wrong and Satellite. And I'm not crazy about the song Submission, and it's on some copies and not on others. And if they'd taken that off, they would have had room for two more short, fast rockers. And I think Did You Know Wrong and Satellite are two of my favorite Sex Pistols songs, and I would have loved to have seen those on the album. Once again, I don't want to tamper with a masterpiece, but it would have been great to have those two songs on the album too. Number five is an outtake, Rumblin' Man by Cactus. They left that off the album because it's just too scary, and it is super incredible scary. And they probably could have left off My Lady from South of Detroit. And I love My Lady of South of Detroit, and I love the first Cactus album, but would have been insane to have Rumblin' Man on there as well. Number six is Black Knight by Deep Purple, and of course Fireball. It was a hard act to follow. Deep Purple's In Rock, one of the greatest hard rock albums of all time. It really is flawless. And when Fireball came out, it should have been more balls to the wall, like In Rock. And they should have added Black Knight. There's a little country song on Fireball. They could have dropped that and put Black Knight on there. Number seven is Big Black Dog by Humble Pie. It was a single release before the first Humble Pie album on A&M Records, and it's just such a killer song, a great hard rock song. It's amazing that wasn't on the album. And arguably, there's a couple of tunes on that first Humble Pie self-titled album on A&M that could have been replaced with Big Black Dog. Number 18, the Cry of Love album. I love Dolly Dagger and Isabella so much, and it would have been great to have either Dolly Dagger or Isabella added to that album. And I understand that, you know, in the technology of the day, 17 minutes was the maximum per side per record. Although in 1971, Mountains, Flowers of Evil came out, and they actually made the grooves a little smaller, and one side had 22 minutes on it, around 22 minutes. And so it's feasible to squeeze an extra song on some of these albums if they really wanted to. Number 19 is Hey Hey What Can I Do by Led Zeppelin. Once again, Led Zeppelin 3 is a masterpiece. I love that album. I love it particularly because a lot of the songs on that record aren't beaten to death on the radio. But Hey Hey, What Can I Do is such an outstanding song. It would have been a great addition to Led Zeppelin 3, making that album even more perfect. Number 20, If Only You Were Lonely. It was the B side of I'm in Trouble by the Replacements. Came out the same time as their album Sorry Ma, Forgot to Take Out the Trash. And the first Replacements I heard were that single, and the flip side, If Only You Were Lonely. And it's such a perfect song, acoustic song. There's a shit ton of songs on that album, but it would have been nice if Only You Were Lonely was added to it, just because it's such a great song. Number 21 is Trying for Kicks by Generation X. Kiss Me Deadly is the second album by Generation X. A lot more of a classic rock album than their first album. And it would have been nice to have another another rocker on there. Trying for Kicks was so killer. Would have been right at home on that album. Number 22 is Big Leg Emma by the Mother of Invention, a single released um, around the same time as their second album, Absolutely Free. And once again, it's such a cool song. Would have made a nice addition to the Absolutely Free album and added just one more color to that record. Um, Number 23, Bob Dylan's Please Crawl Out Your Window. I love that song. I so love that song. And it would have been nice to have that on Highway 61 or Bring It Back Home, because it's such a killer song. Once again, those albums are flawless. I love them. They're classics. They shouldn't be tampered with. But I would have loved to have heard that song on either of those albums. Number 24 is the Soft Boys, Angle Poise, Lamp, and Fat Man's Son, the single released on Radar Records. And they were going to have an album on Radar Records, and it was aborted. And these two songs didn't end up showing up on an album. And I love the Can of Bees album by Soft Boys, but it would have been that much killer to have Angle Poise, Lamp, and Fat Man's Son on there, because they're both just so brilliant. And again, I don't want to tamper with Can of Bees too much, but those songs are so good. They should have been on the album. Number 25, I'm really pushing it here. Wouldn't it be great to have It's All Too Much added to Sgt. Pepper? I'm really fucking with the classic here, but It's All Too Much is such an epic song. It would have just added that much color to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And while I'm at it, Only a Northern Song would have been great on there too. But I know I'm really going to get some shit for that one. And then the last one I'm going to do is Ship of Fools, Van der Graaf Generator. Total powerhouse electric heavy rocker, released as a single around the same time as their album Quiet Zone. And the Quiet Zone has got a lot of great prog on it and so many great things on it, but it's relatively subdued compared to that one single. And just adding that one single would have made that album even more impressive than it is. So that's my list of, there's a ton more. If you have any suggestions, put them in comments below, because there's lots of outtakes and lots of singles that maybe should have been on albums. Would have been cool. Bubble Puppy comes to mind. A lot of the singles they put out after the Gathering of Promises album probably would have been better suited to be on the album. And there's outtakes from Rolling Stones, Some Girls, that would be great to have on the album. Again, that's a total masterpiece. I shouldn't be fucking around with this stuff. But anyway, just a fun exercise for me. And I still think about shit like that because that's how I am. I'm a vinyl junkie and a rock nerd. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching my channel. I Hate Rock Music.